Oh, Mortal Kombat was really the inspiration for all the movies that we saw in the 90s. You know, Terminator, Alien, Predator, even Kung Fu movies, Enter the Dragon, Bloodsport. And when Street Fighter first came out, you know, we really loved the game Street Fighter, but we wanted to make a version that was a little meaner, that had a little darker version of Street Fighter. In the beginning, there wasn't that many to create, so it was only 4 of us coming up with the fatalities.
Yes.
So, but after that, you know, there are so many that we have to make. We have to make, you know, 60, 70 fatalities. So we have meetings that we have. Everybody in the studio can come into this meeting with an idea, and they'll stand up and they'll say something like, you know, what if he rips his head off or something like that. Well, my favorite character is Scorpion. I don't know if I identify with him, but he has some of the coolest moves with the spear and everything to me. Oh, that's a good question.
Essa é uma pergunta boa.
I would say maybe Shao Kahn, maybe. Oh, that's a good question.
Essa é uma boa pergunta.
I'll be safe and I'll say Scorpion. I think now, if you like making games, now it could be the best time ever to make games. You know, there are a number of game development kits, you know, Unreal and Unity, and if you have a group of people who have an idea and they want to create something, there's nothing stopping you from creating a great game. Yeah. So I would say make a really small game and finish it, because there's a lot of people who have an idea that's too big and then they never finish it. But if you do finish it, then, you know, I think you'll be able to understand what it is to start it and, you know, go to the end. Nothing that we can announce, but we do have some surprises from other franchises. I personally would love to do like a character from Street Fighter in a Mortal Kombat game, but I don't want to cut Ryu's head off or anything crazy like that. Oh, there's so many I can't even think of them. Obviously, Street Fighter. Maybe somebody from you know, Neo from The Matrix or John Wick would be a cool one for it. You know, I first came here. This is I think the 3rd or 4th time that I've been to BGS.
BGS.
And the first time I came here, I couldn't believe how much you love Mortal Kombat. It's just amazing. And you know, the first time I came, I knew that I was gonna come back here. I would get over here once again, and that was you know, so I always love coming back here. It's such a great time. I had for the first time a pizza here, which is different, but I loved it. You know, the cheese tastes better here than it does in the United States.
Sim.
Sure. Well, if I said 20 years ago that I would be doing Mortal Kombat 12, then in 20 years I'll probably be working on Mortal Kombat 24.
Bom, sim.
And as far as, you know, where the story goes, you know, I personally would love to see more movies or other media with Mortal Kombat in it. Well, you know, we've been telling the story of Mortal Kombat for 27 years now. So when we were making each chapter, we had no idea that we were going to still be creating Mortal Kombat, you know, for so long. So I think there probably are some things that are inconsistent in the stories that might not be, you know, we wouldn't have told the same story had we known we would still be doing it so many years later. So, and as far as like the other games, like the, you know, Special Forces and Mythologies, I actually didn't work on those games, so I'm not sure how many the flaws. There's a lot that is involved in creating a character, from designing the costume, doing the 3D modeling, writing the story, and coming up with the special moves. And there are different teams that work on each part of those. So from beginning to end, if I had to guess, I would say it's about 2 or 3 months, maybe 3 months from the beginning until the end. But we do work on multiple characters at the same time. I think it would be the very first Mortal Kombat. Sub-Zero grabs the guy's head and then he tears it off. That's the one that I think a lot of people remember the most. And it wasn't the most complicated one to make, but it's the one that I think set the tone for all the other fatalities.
And no.
Oh yeah, Street Fighter 2 had if you beat the guy up enough, he would get dizzy.
Então no Street Fighter.
And I love that feature because then I get a free hit. But when I was the guy dizzy, I hated that feature because I couldn't block. And so we changed it to be at the end of the match. So after you won, that's why the guy's standing there dizzy, and we would just let you get a free hit, just to make you feel good. And so then that was in the game for a while, and then one day we just thought, wouldn't it be cool if you can tear the guy's heart out or something like that? And just keeping in mind that when we made Mortal Kombat, we were all in our 20s. We were young. So that's what 20-year-old guys who are making a video game, that's what they think of. Well, there's a lot of games. I have multiple favorites. Mortal Kombat 2 was up there as one of the and I like Mortal Kombat Deception was one of my favorites too. And Mortal Kombat 11 is really, honestly, is one of my favorite ones. I feel like it's everything we learned from the old games, applied to one. We've talked about doing remasters of some of the older games. Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks was one of the ones that has been asked for to doing a remastered version, and we're thinking of it. So we have nothing to announce, but it would be something we'd like to see. When we finished, I think Mortal Kombat 4, John Tobias, he wanted to start another company. He wanted to start his own company. So he left and he formed a company, Studio Gigante, and then they made their own games, and we continued to make Mortal Kombat, Deadly Alliance and Deception. But he just wanted to leave. John and I are still really good friends. I just had dinner with him, a few weeks ago, and we're always talking all the time. But he just went a different direction. I think there's a lot of opinions about which characters are better than others. And so a lot of people come to me and they'll say something like, oh, Liu Kang is too weak. And then another guy will come to me and say, oh, Liu Kang is too strong, fix him. So we are always trying to, patch the game and make it more balanced. But, one person's opinion might be different or even the opposite of another's. Well, I'm not sure what she meant by which characters are impossible to play. I don't know if she meant that they don't feel they're good enough. But we are always releasing new versions of the game to improve on everything. The guy who slides out of the screen, his name is Dan Forden. Yeah, he's the toasty guy. He comes on the screen. Dan Forden. And he wrote the music and the sounds for the first 3 or 4 Mortal Kombat games. He's an amazing musician. And when we used to play the game, he used to say, I predict Toasty! And he would actually say that. So we just put him in the game saying it just as a joke for ourselves. That wasn't, Street Fighter did something like that. You get to throw a fireball, you had to do combinations. And we just kind of took that idea and expanded on it. to not only special moves but fatalities were a big part of the moves we did secrets to. Well, we got a lot of attention because of the fatalities in the game. A lot of people, it was the first time they saw something like that. And so we wanted to come back with the opposite, do something, really funny, or so we came up with the idea of a friendship move. And it had to do the button combinations, but it would do something funny instead. Yeah, there's a definite possibility. Wow. Other than Mortal Kombat? And well, probably the hardest game that we had to work on was probably Mortal Kombat 11. But the other games were like Injustice and Injustice 2. Those had their challenges because we had to have DC approve everything that we did. Probably Goodfellas. Goodfellas.
Yes. Filme favorito.
Seu lazer.
I play basketball twice a week. I play golf. I'm learning to play the guitar. I know how to play the piano. So those things.
Legal. Qual que foi o pedido mais...
I guess I don't want to use the word weird, but it was the most unique request. I've had a few people ask me to sign my name on their arm, and then they made a tattoo out of my signature.
Eu
to not work so many hours. No, I'm happy with how things have turned out. Every game that we make, there's things that I wish we could have done differently or better. But eventually, if I look back, all the Mortal Kombat games, it's amazing to me that the last 3 that we've made have been the highest selling of all of them. Not a lot of franchises do that. A lot of them, the sales go down over time. Absolutely, we always want to create new characters. Mortal Kombat has over 70 characters in it, so there's a lot of people who are always demanding that we put Melina and Rain and all these other characters in the games, so we have to satisfy them and then try to put our new ones at the same time. The major difference is size. The first Mortal Kombat game was 4 people, and now it's over 300-400 work on it. And so it's a lot more work, and a lot more expertise is needed. So there are programmers and artists and animators that are specialized in their whole thing, and there's much more expertise needed with today's technology. Yeah, that's always the case. I think with every game that we do, we think, oh, that's as good as it can possibly get. And then something else is invented that we look at and we go, oh, we can do better than that.
Yeah.
So it's great that technology is always moving forward, and it lets us continue to do games that look better than the ones before it. Absolutely.
Com certeza.
I think the best thing about social media is getting an understanding of what you want to see in a Mortal Kombat game. But at the same time, not everybody agrees on what they want to see. For every person who says, I want to see Melina in Mortal Kombat, there's another person who says, nobody wants to see Melina in Mortal Kombat.
Podem acompanhar. Eu agradeço muito a participação de todos durante o BGS Talks e ficamos muito felizes pela participação de vocês na BGS, a maior feira de games da América Latina. Valeu, até a próxima. Tchau.